When shall we three meet again, in thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly burly's done, and when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
Fair is
Fair
Fair is
foul,
foul, and foul is
fair.
fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrecked as homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand
in hand, posters of the sea and
land, thus do go about.
Thrice to thine and thrice
to mine, and thrice again to make up nine.
Peace, the charms wound up.
The moon is down. I've not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it. 'Tis later, sir.
Hold. Who's there? What are these so withered and wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it? You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail to thee, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great predictions of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me, you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Macbeth and Banquo, all hail.
Take you perfect speakers, tell me more. The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. What seemed corporeal melted as breath into the wind. But they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on that insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so.
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here? Hold on. The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine. What, can the devil speak true?
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon thy leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Till then, enough. Come, friend.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned a desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with, Hail, King that shalt be! This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, thou wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have, great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou art have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wish it should be undone. Hide me hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. The raven himself is hoarse. Thou croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe-top, full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop all of the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctions visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effort and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark, to cry, hold, hold!
Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by all hereafter, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall the sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time, bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further on it.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
If it were done when 'tis done, and well it were done quickly. If the assassination could tremble up the consequence, and catch with his success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, will jump the life to come. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against his deed, and then as the host, who should against the murderers shut the door, not bear the knife myself? I have no spur to prick the size of my intent, only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
How now, what news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have brought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which should be worn now in the newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it to do so freely? Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that thou esteem the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat, the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast wasn't then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than a man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was a smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a lembic only. When in swinish sleep, their drenched natures lie as in a death, and cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only. Landon's metal shall compose nothing but males. Will not be received when we have marked the blood, those sleepy 2 of his own chamber, and use the very daggers they have done.
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, mark the time with fairest show. False face must hide, but the false heart doth know.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marchest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes have made the fools of other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still. On thy blade indulging gouts of blood, which was not so before. 'Tis no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. While I threat, he lives. Worse to the heat of deeds, too cold breath gives. I go. It is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made me drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their posets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die. My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder. They did wake each other. I stood and heard them. They did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are 2 lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. This thing their fear. I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
Well, wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I am most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring those daggers from the place? They must lie here. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. God, again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
What's that knocking? How is with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. And all great Neptune's oceans wash their blood clean from my hand. No, this my hand will rather in the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking. At the south entry, retire we to our chamber, a little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then, your constancy hath left you unattended.
To know my nature, best not know myself. Awake, Duncan, with thy knocking, would thou couldst.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece most sacrilegious murder, hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple, and soiled thence the life of the building.
What does she say? The life?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Grogan. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Oh, awake, awake! Ring the alarm bell. Murder, treason, shake off this drowny sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of this house?
Our royal master's murdered.
Whoa, alas, what? In our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I lived a blessed time. For from this instant is nothing serious in mortality. All's but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are. Do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were embadged with blood. So were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, you had to repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man! The expedition of my violent love outrun the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his golden skin laced with his golden blood, and his gash stabs like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. They're the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make loves known?
Help me, Henta!
Oh, look to the lady.
Look to the lady. Then let us question this bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
So do I.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness. Meet in the hall together.
I'll to England. This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, to horse, and let us not be dainty in our leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush. It will be rain tonight.
Thrice the brindled cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the head pig whined.
Harpier cries, "'Tis time, 'tis time."
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and night hath 31 sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double,
Double, toil and trouble. Fire burn, cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a finished snake in the cauldron, boil and bake. Eye of newt into a frog, wool of bat in tongue of dog, adder's fork in blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For the charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double,
toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the raven's salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark. Ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's chaldron, for the ingredients of our cauldron. Double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is't you do?
A deed
without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, however you come to know it. Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that sweaten from the murderer's gibbet throw into the flame.
Come
high or low, thyself
and office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, 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 beware, Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me, enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Does heart my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
3 ears I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. When did I fear of thee? What is this?
Listen, but
but
not
speak not to it.
to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnham wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
That will never be. St. Bodeman's good. Rebellion's head rise never till the wood of Burnham rise. My heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek
No,
to know more.
more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show.
show
Show his eyes,
And
and
grieve
his
his heart.
heart.
come
Come
like shadows,
so
depart.
depart.
Oh, took the spirit of Banquo down. The crown to sear mine eyeballs. And thy hair, thy other gold brown brow was like the first. The third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? Oh, fourth, start eyes. Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet. A seventh, I'll see no more. Yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass, which shows me many more horrible sight. But you see, 'tis true. The little blood-bolstered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What is this so? What? Are they gone? This pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife. Give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before the purpose cool. But no more sights! Bring me where they are.
Yeah, no.
What I believe, I'll wail. What no believe, and what I can redress as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon.
I have lost my hopes. Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny. Lay thou thy bases sure, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is averred. Fare thee well, Lord. I will not be the villain that thou thinkest for the whole space that in that tyrant's grasp, and the rich East to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds. Each new day a gash is added to her wounds.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. And my desire all continent impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and this other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more. that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth. If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern! No, not to live. O nation miserable with an untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed and does blasphemy in his breed? Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste. But God above deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself unto thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. What I am is thine, and my poor country's to command. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once, 'tis hard to reconcile.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound they ever yet have heard.
How might guess it?
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner were on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you. Merciful heaven.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence my wife killed too?
I have said.
He has no children. Oh, my pretty ones, did you say all? Oh, hellkite, all?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I am also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on, it would not take their part. Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own Demeters, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length. Set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, we go to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
Yet, here's a spot. Oh, damned spot! Out, I say! 1, 2. Then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier interfered. What need we fear who knows it, when none can hold our power to account? Yet, who would have thought? the old man to have so much blood in him. Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? And will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all of this starting. Yet, here's this smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out onst his grave. Yeah, to bed. To bed. There is a knocking at the gate. Come, come, come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out! Out, brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Blow wind, come rack. At least we'll die with harness on our backs.
The way of the noise be that way. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be a slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
They have tied me to the stake, and I cannot fly, but bear like I must stand the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by a man as of a woman born. Turn, hellhound, turn! Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back, for my soul is too much charged with the blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is my sword. What the hell? Blow your villain and turn to get thee out!
Labor, that common life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thou charm, and let the angel who thou still serve tell thee, Macduff, from his mother's womb, untimely ripped.
No Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane, thou opposed, being of no woman born, I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff. And Dan gave him the first cries, hold! Enough!
Oh my god!
Hail, King! For so thou art! Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head! The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling our home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. This and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.